So, what we have been understanding, it's a very logical way of understanding that question and answers. But every question, we should think of it. You listen to the teacher and then you listen it again, repeat listening. My master used to say that listening and learning from a teacher directly uh, is a preparation to meditation. And repeat listening with contemplation and reflection and practice results in awakening. So we had our first question. What was the first question? That what is the goal of life? So you listen from the teacher that the goal of life is the self-discovery. But what happens after listening? The mind goes back to the previous state. I have a lot of things to do. I'm fully busy. I have to earn a lot of money, and and the main goal of life is forgotten. Why it is forgotten? That is what we are trying to understand. Why it is forgotten? Because of our attachment. One. Secondly, because we think the goal of life is to have money and all kinds of pleasure and ultimately RIP. RIP, I think you understood, rest in peace. So we we have RIP waiting 50 years ago, 50 years later, but during these 50 years we are always earning. So the first question uh, helps us to think, just gather all the moments of pleasure last week. You had a cup of coffee. Oh, it's very good. I like it. This is the food restaurant I went. This is the clothes I bought. So I had many moments of pleasure. So, say for example, in last week, you had 50 units of pleasure. You add all the 50 units of pleasure, does it become even 1 unit of happiness? They come and gone. You drink coffee and you enjoy it and finished. Then the mind jumps onto the second pleasure, then the third pleasure, then the fourth pleasure, then the fifth, and then the sixth. And it continues. So the goal of life has to be understood in terms of, has to be understood that this is the goal of life, where I cannot compare the pleasure with 1 unit of happiness. And then our mind thinks, oh, is the happiness inside me? Can I be into that state of happiness all the time? So that loosens the hold of attachment, likes and dislikes, anxiety, and the reaction towards the things outside in the world. We have to understand what is the importance of a penny or a dime in presence of $100 note. It doesn't make any difference. So that dime is a pleasure. We are seeking happiness. So unless this becomes a fact and logical conclusion in your head, we don't become a seeker. Then we listen, we enjoy all the pleasures, and after the pleasure, we continue suffering. One guy in a group session that I organized on Monday, but he did not ask me openly, why? Why cannot you ask the open question in front of everyone? Because of the attachment and liking, because you will feel that what people will think of me. But when I ask you what is the goal of life, it is an open question. So he asked me, do you know any dating apparatus, dating apps? I spent 1 hour of time He's young, that's normal. He's young, so he spends 1 hour of time in dating app. Oh, this is good or that is good. So he's looking for pleasure. He's not looking for anything. But and that I do not understand. I said in every session, whether it's a private or a group session, I always date with the existence. My largest app is the existence. I have no issue with it, and I need not to hide it. So I did not talk about the name, but I brought that issue in a group session where he also attends the session. Not out of anything, but out to give him the insight. So we have to talk sometime directly or indirectly. So once that goal of life is clear, then what happens? You wake up in the morning, then the second question comes, what is the common desire of all human beings? It is definitely the same for all the human beings. So now the moment you meet anyone in your relations, in outside, anywhere, your mind is filled with that understanding, that idea, that thought that the common desire of all the human being is happiness. Now you know it. You have a greater responsibility to avoid any kind of conflict, either in your relations or outside. So now you think that you are avoiding. Avoiding means by realization, by understanding that if my honey is fighting with me, so his fighting is because of the ignorance. He does not know that the happiness lies in him and happiness lies in me. So you withdraw. So once you have that understanding, you easily withdraw from these human emotional and mental conflicts because of that understanding. You have the right knowledge. You live into that awareness. So what happens? You are able to recognize your attachment, your strong likes and dislikes, your joy and the sorrow in relationship to the world. They all come because of my ignorance, my misconception, my misunderstanding that it is outside. So then only the second question becomes clear in my head. When I know that my house is in the east direction, I will never move to the west direction. I will never look for the dating app. That has to be very clear in our head. If that is clear, and then what happens? You start living in a new level of awareness. So with that new level of awareness, then the third question is, we have been discussing the third question. What exactly is the end of suffering and happiness? What is the end of the suffering? And what is the way of permanent peace and happiness? We say Nirvana. Now that Nirvana, under this Nirvana, you should understand clearly the direct and the indirect knowledge. I have covered that. You are very clear. Then we recheck every day. You wake up in the morning, and throughout the day, your mind is filled with that understanding, that thought, that idea that the happiness lies within me. So, what happens? You are calm now. You are not in a hurry. Your behavior and attitude changes. And if that is changing, you are progressing. You are progressing. Because it does not mean that you have answered the first two questions and you have forgotten. No, they start living with you. You make effort. Sometimes we get money, sometimes we don't get it. That is the way the worldly life. Not all desires are fulfilled. You continue to make effort. You live your professional life. You live your social life. Everything is good. But now you are not disturbed. You are not in a hurry. You don't get exhausted. So you are working, even the professional life is a play and a fun. You are living in relationship as a play and a fun. Any relationship. So that keeps your mind in calmness and peace. Because you understand it is all my desires cannot be fulfilled. So I have extracted the desire, no, not extracted. I recognize desires of two types: binding desire, unbinding desire. So whenever my desire is not fulfilled and I am upset, it is a binding desire. Just recognize. Change your attitude. No, I will make an effort again. No worries. This time my effort should be without any binding. Now you see, you are doing the same work, but without a binding desire. The mind is happy. Mind is focused on the work, and normally we succeed. So that inner change should come by the first three questions. And we also discussed in this that you see that you desire anything from the world outside, you have to acquire it. You have to make an effort to acquire, to earn the wealth or to buy anything. So that is outside. Now I have a desire for permanent happiness, which is already within me. It is already present. So I need not to make any effort to cover a distance to make an effort. I have to use the knowledge to find that happiness, to uncover. And I gave you an example of three coverings. First covering, if you have a gift, if you receive a gift which has three coverings, outer cover you have to remove, that is made up of impurities. That is by listening and understanding and practice. Second is the superimposition. When you say the gift is lying in the box and there is a box, that box is acting as a superimposition. It does not affect the gift. You see, all the three coverings do not affect the gift. So that is known as the superimposition. So that superimposition in terms of our wrong notions, that makes the mind fully busy, that distracts us. And the third is the ignorance. So when the teacher is, you are listening to the teacher and you are learning, you are loosening all the three layers. The gift is already given to us by the existence. We are of the nature of peace and happiness. So this comes under all the three questions. Now the fourth question is, okay, you said Nirvana. What exactly is the Nirvana? Now we are coming to the fourth question. Nirvana, we say self-knowledge. So I know myself. What I know myself? I'm a man, I'm a woman, my age, my name, my profession. But this, what our master says, this is not your real I or the real self is a pure consciousness which has no name in the form, which is all pervading, which is of the nature of the love, peace, truth, and wisdom. So we know what we know about ourselves is the false self. So when we understand what exactly is the false self, we can easily drop it. It happens with the same thing, This food causes the allergy to me, and that is the problem. And has been telling me a lot of stories about her life. Oh, this food causes the allergy. I don't take it. So I know that, now this false identity causes the allergy. I should reach to that level of awareness. Are you understanding? That false identity should instantly trigger, oh, no, 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 I'm not that. How dare you say anything to me? So when anyone insults you, they insult your body. They don't see your real self. And I get upset. Are you seeing? So as long as I keep the identity with the false self that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the ego, it will cause problem. So fourth, what is the fourth question? What brings moksha or nirvana? Simple answer is self-knowledge. So we have to expand this answer. So when we say what exactly is the real self, what exactly is the false self? So Eastern wisdom deals with the false self. They discuss about the three bodies. We discuss about three bodies: the physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body. The causal body is the source of all the trigger of negativity, of ignorance, and of suffering. Subtle body is mind. Roughly, you can say mind. We will talk about that later. So in Eastern wisdom, we say the cause of this physical body is the subtle body. How dare you say, I'm born from my parents? No, that is your physical structure only. But what is holding your physical structure is the subtle body. And the cause of both the bodies is the causal body. So when we understand how this physical body takes the birth with particular parent in a particular situation in a particular country, why this happens. So when we understand the entire game of the existence, we realize we are identifying with the false. Another way to discover that real self that we discuss in detail, what exactly is a waking state? What exactly is the sleep state? In the sleep state, the body and the mind are absent. When the body and the mind are absent, we feel very happy. Body and mind absent means you have a deep sleep. When you sleep soundly and deeply, then what happens? You come out with, oh, the master's got a clue that can we consciously transcend body and the mind? How? By meditation. So when I have a background knowledge and understanding that, okay, my goal in meditation is transcend the body and the mind. Yeah, relaxation, calmness, they are the byproduct. The moment you bypass, you transcend, you awaken to the real self. There is another model in which we work. We work with the model of five coverings. Five coverings: physical, energy, mental, intellectual, and there is another which is known as a pleasure covering. You like coffee, and the moment you see the coffee, it gives you an idea of the pleasure. You possess coffee, the level of the pleasure increases. You drink coffee, that gives you the immense pleasure, and after that, everything is gone. So that is known as the pleasure body. So when we explore these five levels, then we see that this peace and the happiness are basically coming from the real self. Now, how to reach there? How to understand that? So, under this fourth question, Master says that you should ask the question first whether you are eligible for that, whether you qualify for that or not. What is that qualification we require? So we have to bring about a change in our behavior and attitude. It means I have to bring about a change in the lifestyle. Why? Because the current lifestyle gives too much of importance to the body, the mind, my preferences, my likes and dislikes. You see that? Every time anyone, I don't like this, I don't want to talk to you. But we have a very strong preferences, prejudices, likes and dislikes, accumulated impressions. So we have to bring about a change in our lifestyle. So do I need to change anything outside what I'm doing? No. Keep doing whatever you are doing. But the attitude by which you are doing should be changed. Attitude. Where the attitude lives, it lives in the mind. Well, by attitude, it's a mental state. So, with that proper and the right mental attitude, if I start working in my life, when I work from that attitude, I work out, that is expressed as a behavior. So, there are two things, behavior and attitude. So, I must change the attitude in the mind, and that with that attitude in the mind, when I express when I speak or act, it brings a tremendous change in my life and in the lives of others gradually with whom I am living. What happens? It purifies the mind. What happens? You are never in a hurry. I'm always ready, at least 5 or 10 minutes before every session, irrespective of the money that I get. It doesn't make any difference. I volunteer session, but I'm always ready, 10 minutes before. Why? Attitude. Why? It does not put me into any idea of being actually busy. I'm reacting. No, I'm so sorry. I'm becoming late. I will join you after. No, no. A single positive attitude in each action in your life changes your behavior. Do you see that? It's a very subtle change. Unless we understand that, that goal is too far. That goal is too far. So you see the attitude inside we change. That we are going to talk about. And the behavior outside. Behavior in terms of performance, action, the way we talk and communicate, the way we express. So that is the first part of reorientation, preparing myself. This is known as the karma yoga. Well, in short, karma yoga. Karma means action, yoga means a mental state and attitude. What happens then? Then your mind is naturally focused on the larger picture of your life. What is the larger picture? You are consciously connecting to the existence, to the people outside. What happens? So you are removing the second covering, as I talked about, the gift has a three covering. That superimposition you are removing. You are connected, contributing to the existence. Your mind says, let me become a giver instead of a receiver. You talk to any person, our mind is so much obsessed with receiving. Our mind is too much obsessed with the receiving. Oh, I'm talking to this guy, so I know subconsciously, unconsciously, we have an idea that this guy is going to appreciate me, praise me. But now what happens? Just the opposite. You are at a giver end. You are always ready to give before you receive. What you give? You give your peace and happiness. That is being expressed. You perform all your actions. In the background, there is a peace and happiness. So you are connected to the entire existence. So when these two things are done in your life for a couple of weeks and months and years, the time comes, then you listen, then your mind is 100% prepared. Your mind is an eligible seeker. You simply listen to it. You do contemplation and reflection, and ultimately the goal is reached. That is what is the fourth question. We will take up the fifth question next week. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. Being comfortable. Being comfortable means close your eyes. We will start the practice. You become comfortable. Being comfortable means looking at the neck joint, being there, feeling the sensation, comfort and steadiness. Again, I'm going in a very lighter way. Lighter way means you can easily pick up and get absorbed. Move the mind on the shoulder joints, be there. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. After the steadiness, become aware of the space. The space is awareness, and awareness is the space. Move the mind on the entire body. See, as if you're looking the outer body from outside, you're looking at the skin. And when you are aware, you feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And then you look inside. So looking inside is, I've told you a couple of times, it's a rise in awareness. When you look inside the body, doesn't mean that you're looking the bones and the blood and the heart and etc. etc. No. You look into the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And when you're still looking inside, again be very clear. So you see, the knowledge is supporting their practice. That brings the tremendous result. And the space is awareness, and awareness is space. Now being carefree. So in being carefree, what we do nothing. We just watch. I told you, you're standing across a road watching the traffic. So if you ask me, still I'm doing something, no, you're simply watching the traffic. Watching the traffic means lot of vehicles. Same thing, mental traffic, lot of thoughts. They are coming and going, let them come and go. You are simply watching, you are standing. What is the meaning of the standing here in terms with the mind? You are simply a witness, you are an observer. You are an observer. So you see that, you do nothing, you're watching unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, they come and go. They are the source of my attitude. You see, when these unwanted thoughts continues to enter in your mind during your behavior in the world, your mind takes over you. And then we say, no, I don't know why I became angry and upset over such a small thing. We always realize later. That is why I always give you this tab, being carefree. And then we move ahead, we look inside the forehead in the space. So what it does really means that you keep looking into the space, returning to the space again and again. And at the same time, you start breathing quick and short, gentle breath through both the nostrils into the chest. Continue doing. Continue. You continue doing it, you bypass the resistance of the mind. Sometimes the mind says, no, I cannot do it. And stop it. Look at the head and the neck. Again, it is all a matter of awareness. We already discussed a couple of times. You look at the head and the neck. You experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now you ask a question. That is sensation, comfort, and steadiness came from any factor outside or it came from inside? And it is an obvious answer. It came from inside. Let the mind enjoy that independent state, that this sensation, comfort, and steadiness, or sensation, relaxation, and stillness came from within. So the mind will gradually drop reliance on the objects and the people and the relations outside. So, every step is guided by the knowledge and understanding. But if you are doing it habitually and mechanically, it may bring you relaxation, no doubt. But then it is like a pill. Meditation becomes like a pill. Meditation is not a pill, it is not a habit. And then you look inside the head and the neck, explore and become aware of any sensation. At this moment, it is calmness. Become aware of the space. At this moment, it is quietness. I'm qualifying the calmness and quietness. At this moment, in the state of being carefree and comfortable, you are a witness to the sensation inside the body represents calmness. and the space inside it represents the quietness. Not all the time. Now look at the right arm. Be there. Experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness, or sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now, in that sensation, relaxation, stillness, just wait for a while. Does it come by drinking a tea or a coffee or any food, or does it come by buying a clothes? Does it come by buying a car or anything in relationship? It is not coming due to contact with any object. It is independent. And if you can experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness, that is independent of anything outside. Why not? There is a permanent peace and happiness can be independent of anything outside. So that reflection should be there. That reflection helps you change your behavior and attitude. So the mind goes to the left arm. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look inside the left arm. Any sensation within is calmness. Any space within is quietness. Look at the rib cage in the front and the back. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Again, tell the mind that sensation, that relaxation, that stillness is the result of non-contact with anything outside. Pleasure or pain means I come in contact with any object outside. Yes. And looking inside the heart, sensation, calmness, and space quietness. Become aware of the belly. Now it is easy sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Looking inside, calmness and quietness. Check. Is your mind sailing smoothly, softly, gently? No, I have a lot of thoughts. Don't pay attention to the thought. Pay attention to what I'm saying to you. That is also a thought. You have to make a choice whether you are carried away by unwanted, unwelcome thoughts in your mind, or you are paying attention on the thoughts which I'm speaking to you. That is nothing but the instruction. Right leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness, looking inside, calmness and quietness. Now it becomes a smooth sailing. I told you that you are traveling on the one lane, on the right side of the lane, and other is the second lane. So you are not concerned at all with other thoughts, and you continue the journey. You should have that level of awareness. Move the mind on the left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness, calmness and quietness. Become aware of the entire body, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And calmness and quietness. First, you experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness, and so we purify the mind, purify and gain focus, natural focus of the mind, again in the next step. And it's very simple. Make your breath a little deeper. Little deeper means little deep, silent, and slow, not too much. So it means you need awareness and attention to do deep, silent, and slow breathing. Okay, so that is the first point. So that even if the thoughts are coming, the mind is not going there. Now, still, that deep, silent, and slow breathing becomes rhythmic, and then the mind starts thinking again. So, what to do? Mind starts thinking. So, we use the mantra Shantuham. So, how we regulate it? As you breathe in, you mentally you say, sing Shantuham. As you exhale, Shantuham. This is you are taking care of the mind, taking care of the mind. But the intellect doesn't stop there. Oh, what to do with the intellect? Why? You start still getting the thoughts, and you're getting the thoughts that disturbs you or that obstructs the process. So what to do? So when you say Shantuham, you see the space within. So when you see the space within, you see the thoughts also, but they do not disturb you. Again, understand clearly. The process is very subtle, but it is not a big deal. First, first level of awareness, body is in the state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness, which it is. Then I'm paying attention to the deep, silent, and slow breathing. And as I inhale, I say Shantuham with the space everywhere, infinite space, while exhaling Shantuham with the space all around, inside and outside. So you see that when you are aware of the space all around while saying Shantuham with a deep silent and slow breathing, you still have the thoughts, but these thoughts do not disturb you. They are too far. And sometimes you find that you don't have a thought. You have a thought of deep silence, slow breathing. You have a thought of moving the mind. You have a thought of saying Shantoham. You have a thought of the space. So you have these four thoughts in your mind. They are very close to you, and the rest of the thoughts are too far. What happens? That is the meaning of going deeper and living within. Shantoham. Now leave this step, come to the normal breathing. Just keep watching the breath. Because there is no resistance, there is no one. The unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are too far from you that you recognize. So it is very easy for you to be aware of the breath incoming and the outgoing breath. Why is that? Because the mind is withdrawn inside. Why? Because the mind is living within. Can we achieve that state all the time? Is the question. Master says yes. Mm. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. And we will share the experiences. If you have any question, you are free to ask. How are you, Charlie?
I felt as though I was
Ah,
floating away. I could hear your voice, but I was.
that's good. You see that, you have to think about your meditation practice, what happened. And you made a statement, you're too far from what? From all in the entire world, with its contact, with its relations, with its pleasure, with its pain. That is a pointer to the real self.
I wanted to ask you, I noticed, and I really like it, but I just thought, oh, I'm going to ask you. I noticed that you're kind of singing a lot more in the meditation. Could you
Yeah.
just talk a little bit about that? I like it.
Yeah, that singing comes because the inner state of the mind is already connected to that self. So when you are connected to this self, even you become angry with the singing.
Ah,
So you use the anger as a tool to get the things done, but internally your mind is not disturbed. So you rightly said, I could see that you mean to say that singing is that somewhere deep inside you are stable. You're just resting. Not resting in peace, but you're resting. So that is a pointer to the real self. That you give a lesson as a just as a play and a fun, but with greater responsibility. That too is clear. So if that is clear in your life, then nothing outside affects you. This body is aging. Now I'm going for a Medicare this year. I cannot stop aging. So should I accept or should I refuse it? I should accept. What is the state? Why? How? By the same state of the real self. Yes, you are right. I'm always in that singing mode. How are you? Unmute and Yes.
Yeah, it also singing reinforces meditation also, right?
What did you say?
It reinforces
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
inner peace. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yes, I feel very calm, and I feel also my mind is empty.
Oh, good.
So,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
except
Yes,
I
you're
think
right.
I snoozed a little bit towards the end.
You see that, you have for the last almost now it has been a year, no issue of anxiety. You always said that I feel calm and peace. So
Yes,
it is, you're
during
right.
that's right.
Yes, yes, yes.
Meditation, but not always outside meditation.
So that is what we need to grow in meditation. So when you grow in meditation, what is happening that that attitude in the mind is taken over by your real self. And the real self does not contain any anxiety, duality, and a conflict, even if the situation is adverse outside. Mind can be influenced by the outer situations, but the real self cannot be. So when the when we meditate and reach to a state of that meditation where the mind merges into the real self, your singing comes, you rightly said, it reinforces. That is another word that we use in modern psychology. But you can always reinforce what is real. If you reinforce with what is false, it will come back again. So we are finding the real self. So our reinforcement is with reference to the real self. Our reinforcement is not with reference to the medication. With reference to the guy outside whom I blame is responsible for my stress. Because I lose that idea, a wrong notion. It's a wrong notion that anyone can give me a stress or anyone can give me love. It is inside. That is a true reinforcement. Yes, always singing. I give lot of other sessions, a lot of sessions, and in all these sessions, people are different. Their nature is different. Their questions are different. Their challenges are different. So I have to talk a different concept, a different principle. I have to need to personalize every time. So that personalization, because you are understanding the whole principle. In every session, I talk of a part of that principle. Understand that. Why I talk of a part of principle? Because I'm aware of the whole. You are aware of a part of principle, not aware of the whole. That is why you are a seeker, and that is why I am a teacher. It's not a big deal. Once we understand that process, so I can easily pick up, oh, where the mind is going. So that ability comes from these principles. Thank you very much for attending the session. We will meet again next week.